What's good, Money Tree Gang? Today we're going to talk about upper and lower shadows. Now, before we get too deep into this video, I want to make a few things very clear. One, you cannot trade individual candlestick formations, nor can you trade candlestick patterns by themselves without additional levels of confirmation. Two, the larger the time frame, the more significant that these candles become. And three, it's more important to understand the psychology about how and why these candlestick formations form than to simply trade based off of the patterns themselves. For the purpose of this video, we are going to be comparing a one-day candle to a 5-minute chart. What that means is that this candle represents the entire day, and each one of these candles represents 5 minutes over the course of the entire day. To begin, we have a very strong bearish candle. The reason why this is a strong bearish candle is because we have a large real body with very little to no upper and lower shadow. This shows you that when the market opened for the day, sellers immediately took interest and drove price down all day long with little to no resistance from the buyers. Conversely, in this example, we have a very strong bullish candle. Once again, the reason why is because we have a very large real body with little to no upper and lower shadows. In this example, buyers took interest, they immediately drove price up, met with very little resistance from the sellers, and they took control of the market and drove prices higher until the close. Where things start to get interesting is when we examine candlestick formations that have very large upper or lower shadows with very little real bodies. In this example, buyers immediately took interest in the morning and drove prices up, but then in intraday trading, for some reason or another, sellers took interest and began to immediately reject price and drive the prices back down. While we close green for the day, you can see that the overall strength of this trend is weakening because the distance between the open and close is not nearly as great as the distance from the high to low. Now again, without examining the overall trend or understanding support and resistance or supply and demand zones, we cannot really say for sure how significant this candle is. But what we can say is that for whatever reason, at these prices up here, buyers are losing control and sellers are starting to flex their muscles. In the next example, we have a very large lower shadow with a very small upper shadow. What this represents is that in the morning, sellers took control and drove price down, but for some reason, buyers took interest down here at this zone and began buying shares back up, thus causing prices to go higher. This would be a weakening trend on the selling side because as we see, we had some strong rejection in the morning, but it immediately got bought up and we actually ended up closing green for the day. These patterns are sometimes referred to as hammers or pin bars. And what these can reflect is that the overall trend might potentially be reversing, or we could simply be consolidating at this price level. But again, without additional levels of confirmation, we cannot clearly say for sure which way price wants to go in the future. In the last example, this is a great opportunity to discuss indecision. When you have a candlestick formation with a very small real body and very large upper and lower shadows that are equidistant, it shows us indecision, meaning price opened for the day, we traded sideways. Once we got above this high of the morning session, buyers immediately took interest, but sellers immediately rejected. Sellers tried to take control late in the day. Buyers showed interest down here, drove price back up, and we've got kind of a stalemate situation going on. So again, is the trend reversing? Are we simply consolidating before the next impulsive move up or down? You cannot say for sure based on single candles, but what you can start to understand is the overall psychology about who's in control of the market and which way price potentially wants to go in future trading sessions. I hope this was helpful to your trading. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. Peace, love, and successful trading, y'all.